It's Jen from Not So Mystical Tarot. This is going to be your reading for the time being around Wednesday, the 26th of June, 2019. You can find me on Instagram at Not So Mystical Tarot or notsomysticaltarot.com if you'd like a personal or private reading. That will all be in the description, and all the timestamps will be there as well and in the pinned comment, so you can hop to your moon and rising signs. And let's just get started right away here with Aries. That movie is really loud in the background. The moon, Aries. Okay, I love this card, but this also means that you may not be seeing something quite as clearly as you should be right now. So what are you? Okay, well, you don't have to worry because you got the Queen of Swords. So there is a situation that you are not seeing. You are not seeing it quite the way that you need to be seeing it, and you probably know it, but the Queen of Swords is very much like, I talk about her as the Judge Judy of the tarot. Like, it's right, it's wrong, that's it. So you know what, a lot of times with this moon card, we sort of know that we're not seeing things clearly, but instead we sort of choose to enjoy the candlelight moments, you know, and because like the blazing sun isn't back out to light everything up. Do you know what I mean? You know how everything looks better in candlelight? It's kind of what we're talking about here. Okay, so there's some kind of thing in your relationship, close personal relationship. Could be the relationship with yourself, like you could be lying to yourself about something, or there is something in your relationship that is not going quite right, and you know it's there, but no one's talking about it. This queen's going to make sure that she's super blunt. So I want you to be really careful, because you don't want to just be like, yeah, so like we're not getting along at all, are we? Like, are we going to stay together? Like, you don't want to you don't need to go quite to that degree, but and the Queen of Swords can be very, very blunt, so I want you to be careful there. And look at this, you've got the Six of Cups. So to me, it looks like there's something going on with the relationship here. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to say anything. And the Queen is super blunt, so it's like you're afraid if you talk about it, if you open your mouth, you're going to be like not saying it nicely, and it's going to go really wrong. Use the Six of Cups when you, especially with her clarifying the Queen. It just kind of mellows it out. Remember how much, like, maybe you loved this person in the beginning, that childlike fun love that you had. Remember that when you talk to them. Don't go at them like, you know, ready to just cut them off. I mean, remember, you really loved this person. So try to remember that when you have this discussion with them, or you try to bring up whatever is going on that is going weird, or whatever it might be. I mean, this can also, like I said, not be romantic. It can be like a problem with a friendship too, but there is some relationship thing going on that nobody wants to talk about. So we're going to move on to our Taurus. What do we have for Taurus? Four of Cups, Taurus. Okay, let's get a little lowdown on what this is about in the Six of Pentacles. So Four of Cups can often be that we're a little bit bored. We're a little bit like, it can be because we've been working so hard and trying so hard that we're just like, ugh, I'm done, like mental health day checkout done. But here, when you have this Six of Pentacles, you are the Pentacles, so you are earth signs. But the Six of Pentacles can be about paying it forward and having some abundance. But in this situation, I feel like too many people have been asking you for help, and you're over them. You're just like, oh, if one more person asks me for one more freaking thing, I'm going to lose my mind. And that just happens, Taurus, because you are very dependable. Usually, Taurus people are very hardworking. They are at work on time. They do the things they're supposed to do, and sometimes people can take advantage, and oftentimes I'll say this is like a pay it forward thing, but at this point I feel like enough people have asked you for help that you're like, yeah, I've shared with you a million times, I've helped you out, I don't want to help anybody else. And I think it's kind of come to the point where you're like, if one more person asks me for something, I'm going to shriek at them. You do have the Fool, which says to me you're ready for something different. This could be at work. It could be that you're way too dependent on at work. It could be at home. But whatever it is, wherever the situation is that you have, like I said, people who are like sucking the life out of you, whether it's at work or at home or wherever, it's definitely time to take that step in a new direction. And look at this. You have the Ace of Wands, too. Aces are always gifts from the universe, and wands are action. So definitely time to take some action regarding this. And like I said, I feel like a lot of times I love to say this is a card where you pay it forward, but I feel like you've paid forward enough and you're over it. Like, you're like, I'm not helping anyone else. And that's not your nature. Like, you are a caring person, and you like to help people oftentimes, but I think you're just at a point where, like, if one more person asks me for something, I'm going to go postal on them. I'm going to lose my cool totally. So time to do something different. All right, we're going to move on to our Geminis. What do we have for Gemini? The Queen of Swords. Gemini, you are the Swords, so this is not a big shocker. And the Four of Swords. Okay, there's some kind of decision or something that's going on here, and you're, I always say she's like the Judge Judy, right, of the tarot, but that Queen of Swords, man, she knows, she sees baloney a mile away, and I feel like somebody's trying to put something over on you, and you're like, yeah, I'm really not in the mood for your freaking nonsense. And then there's part of you, there's this little soft voice, there's this part of you that's like, well, I don't know, maybe I should. You're an air sign, stop that, okay? You got two sets of swords here. So you have this queen who's like, no, that's a lie, and we're not doing that. But just to ease this other side of you, you have this Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords is about taking that step back, taking that time away to evaluate and try to figure out what you need to do moving forward so that you don't, like, cut everybody's throat that's near you, but you still take care of yourself, because you do have to you have that responsibility to take care of yourself. Like I said, I feel like somebody's trying to put something over on you, Gemini. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but you do have the Tower. Yeah, I want you to be super careful how you address this, because, like I said, you see it coming a mile away, and maybe that's what this is about, because you don't want to just go in and just start cutting people off at the knees. Even if they deserve it, you're going to want to take that step back, figure out how you're going to deal with it, because if you don't, it could cause more trouble than it's worth, because the Tower card is it's about change, and you always rebuild after it, but, it doesn't have to be quite so traumatic. So let's not have it be so traumatic, okay, Gemini? Let's just not have the drama and trauma. If you can just kind of dial that back a little bit, take a step back before you react, and then handle it, you can avoid this kind of Tower situation. Yeah, and you have the Hierophant. Follow the rules. The rules of how you speak to people, the rules of how you interact with people. Being an air sign, I'm an air sign, it's very easy for me to be super, super blunt, and most people really can't handle that. So it's really better that you take a step back and deal with it first before you even rehearse how you're going to talk to somebody before you say it. And real quick, because this came up with it, you get the Queen of Cups, and she's a nurturer, she's caring, she's soft, she's tempering this, and she's giving you space here to get a little bit in touch with your emotions so that you can deal with whatever this is in a calm and loving way, and not, like I said, just not go in all guns blazing and, just taking people out. You don't want to do that, because it's just going to cause more problems for you to deal with, and you don't want any more problems because you're an air sign. You don't really want to deal with anyone's problems. And like I said, I'm an air sign, I can say that. All right, we're going to move on to Cancer. Before I just ramble on into oblivion here. Cancer. Five of Pentacles. Somebody has shut you out, made you feel bad, left you out, done something, and you've got the Eight of Swords. Okay, well, what this says is this is probably your fault, and I'm sure you don't want to hear that, and so I'm not trying to be mean, but the thing is, this is, while it's, Pentacles, money, career, finance, all that, a lot of times this is a highly emotional card too. So this could be at work. Maybe you said something at work, did something at work, missed a promotion, I don't know, and it can just be that you're feeling, out of, like, 'cause this could also be your environment, the Pentacles. There's stuff you can put your hands on. There can be people that are leaving you out of something important, and you're like, how come you're not letting me play? Like, I don't understand. The thing is, you actually know why this is happening, because the Eight of Swords is intellect, and your swords are your intellect, and here, she's in a prison of her own making. She can just pull her arms in, and the ropes will fall down, right? And then she could, like, move the blindfold and walk out. Nobody's chained her in there. So this is kind of like, you actually know why this happened, and you might just be in the area of just beating yourself up. for it, you know, and that's really not very productive either. So if you know why it happened, take the blindfold off, walk yourself out of there and deal with it. And okay, so you got the devil card coming up. That's not a big surprise. This is old behaviors, old patterns. So it looks to me, especially why you don't want to see it, is some kind of old behavior pattern slipped back in. And I often say it can be drinking, smoking, and all that, but I don't think that's what it was. It could have been you spent money you shouldn't have spent. Maybe maybe you talked about somebody at work and you shouldn't have, and you got busted doing it. You didn't finish a project. I don't know, but some laziness, I don't know, or whatever. You put it off on somebody else and they didn't do it. Whatever it is, there's some old behavior that is causing this feeling, and you know what it is, but you just don't want to deal with it. But here is the awesome thing. The sun comes up with this card. So what we're hearing here with this Eight of Swords here is that if you can get yourself out of this funk, you can have a chance to kind of start over, because the sun is a brand new day, brand new way of being. You don't have to be the way that you were. And like I said, if you screwed something up, you screwed it up. Like, people aren't perfect, whatever. You know how you messed it up. Go back, fix whatever you can, do whatever you can do about it, and then move on. Because people, it is what it is, and you can't do anything about how people feel, think, whatever. You know why this is the way it is, so don't fall back into that old pattern and start something new. Walk out of that prison of your own making and start to do something differently. All right, moving on to our Leos. What do we have for our Leos? The Death card. Don't get all freaked out. I love this card. Death card and the Eight of Swords. All right, the Death card. This is about letting death come in, sweep out all the old crap that's laying around so that you can start something new. The Eight of Swords is a prison of your own making, and I think Cancer just got this as well. And the thing is, like I always say, she could pull her arms in and loosen up. Those things would loosen up and fall off the ropes, and she could just take her blindfold off and walk away. Nobody's chained her in there. I mean, she could just walk out. The thing is, it's like death is right there and you know it, and you're like, I don't really see that, and I don't really know why that's happening. Well, you know exactly why it's happening. And the thing is, oftentimes death doesn't show up because you don't need it to be there. It shows up because it's time. So whatever it is, it's time. Let it die, let it go. It's over, it's done. My God, let it go already, and you honestly will feel so much better. But you have to admit that it's there first. Now, you have the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is all about your emotions. So there's some kind of emotional boo-boo thing going on here. It's hurtful, it's painful, it's making you feel bad, whatever the case might be. But it is time. It is time to deal with that. It may be emotionally really, really tough right now, but you know what? In the end, it's going to be so much better. So it could just be some emotional kind of stuff you got laying around that you've got to get it cleaned up. But look, you have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles has got it under control, right? Like, he has good relationships, he pays his bills on time, he runs companies, he's well respected, his stuff is together, his house is in order, you know what I'm saying? So you know what? Let death come in and clean up all this emotional whatnot. Let him clean all this mess up, because you have bigger and better things coming to you. And as soon as you get yourself out of this funk that you're in, you get to go here. And you know what? That's a way better place to be than, death looming. Hello, I'm over here. I'm coming. You better just let him in. Let him do his job, and then let him go. All right? Let him move on. All right, Virgo. What do we have for Virgo? Middle of the week, the 26th or so. The Star. Now, my husband is a Virgo and I'm an Aquarius, and the Star is the Aquarius card, so that's what he gets, is me. Anyways, the Aquarius is all about, as far as the Star card, is all about dreaming big. This is not like, oh, someday I'd like to, I don't know, go on vacation for a week. This is like someday I want to live at the beach. This is big dreams, big stuff. And Virgo, you're actually very good at that big dream thing. You think everything is possible. So this is really a card that kind of embodies you guys too. And you do have the Seven of Cups. So it looks like you've got some kind of big dreams on the horizon, but you're not sure how everybody else is going to feel about them. You've got all different kinds of feels about things that are going on right now. Like you're feeling a certain kind of way about stuff. You know, if you have a lot of big dreams and kind of big wild goals and you're just not sure how everyone else is going to take them, like I think you feel a bunch of ways about that. It's still really exciting. Okay, you got like cards flying everywhere, but we'll take the two that are face up. You have the Magician that came out first, and okay, so this is about your big giant dreams and dreaming big and doing the things you want to do. And the Magician is, you know, the store of the universe. An infinite amount of everything the universe has is available to you, but you just have to ask for it. So no one's going to deliver it to you. But Virgo, you're such a hard worker. You don't really ever want that anyways. You go and you got to go get what you need, but you will. And then here you have the Two of Cups. So this says to me, you're going to be able to sort this all out. You have a person in your life you're very close to that you can actually talk to. I know you don't love to do it, but you can talk about what you have going on. And they will help you kind of in an unbiased way sort that stuff out, which you really appreciate and actually really, really need. So take that stuff to that person, and they don't think you're crazy or stupid or anything. You know, take that stuff to them and, you know, let them help you sort it out a little bit, okay? It's pretty exciting, though. I'll be interested to hear what you have going on. All right, what about our Libras? Libra, Eight of Cups, moving towards something new. And things do get left behind, but let's, oh my gosh, and the eight, these are coming up. This Eight of Swords is just, ooh, like I say, the energy is kind of a community energy, and then each side's tweaked a little bit, but there's always that common thread. You got two eights. Eights are kind of big changes. I mean, you have somebody, and I like to say, walking toward the thing that's good for them, and naturally these other things just get kind of left behind. But here you've got this Eight of Swords, which is like, la 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 la, I don't see that, and you are the swords. So it's like you would rather be kind of up in your head thinking about this than actually making that move. Like, you know, you got to make that move. I think that's what it's saying, is like you're at this decision point of like, either I'm gonna stay here in this prison that I've made for myself, or I'm gonna take a step out and I'm going to go toward the things I want, and the other things are going to fall away, and it's just the way it is. So you have the Lovers card. This could be a relationship thing you have going on. Could be if you are already with someone that you've been with them and like it's been over for a while and you're just not wanting to deal with that. And I understand that it's very hard to do that kind of stuff, but sometimes there's not a choice to be made. But now the other thing, and like I said, you don't want to see it. You're like, la 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 la, not happening, because you can walk out of this prison. The ropes can just slide down. I mean, and she can take the blindfold off and walk away. The other thing is, it may just be that there's something in one of your close relationships that needs to be addressed. And this can also be personally with you. Like if you're not attached to someone, it may be that you've got some personal work to do. Like you're not connecting to who you really are. And it might be time to walk away from who people think you are, all these other cups down here, and walk toward who you really are. And that will kind of sort out the relationship issue, whether it's that you're with someone or you're not. It kind of helps you sort that stuff out when you move toward what you really are passionate about and what you really love. Everything else kind of either falls by the wayside or it comes with you, right? Well, this is pretty promising, though. You do have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is building a foundation, celebration. It could be marriage, moving in together. It can just be building a financial foundation together, possibly. Maybe you're thinking about buying a house, and you're like, whoa, I don't know if I want to do that. Whatever it is, you've got some kind of decisions on your mind, and they're kind of big, relationship-wise, where you live, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, you're gonna have to take that blindfold off, and you're gonna have to make these decisions either way. And yeah, some things will get left behind, but whatever's over here is probably really, really, really great. And also notice that this person is walking away from, you know, living in this prison. So that prison is not where you want to be, Libra. That is really not for you. Not for you at all. All right, we're moving on to our Scorpios. What do we have for Scorpio? The Lovers. Man, I think you got this did you get this for the weekend too? I can't remember. I know you had it in the 10 of Wands. Okay, so this either is a relationship with you or with another person. It can be with yourself sometimes. I feel like this might be with another person that is very burdensome, like really burdensome. This doesn't have to be like this. Oftentimes is a romantic relationship, but it can be a platonic, like a best friend that you're like this, but they like suck the life out of you, or they put a lot of stuff on you. It can be that, or it can be a real close family member, or it can be the relationship you have with yourself. But here I don't think so, because you've got this burden. I mean, we don't usually burden ourselves too much. Usually we just don't pay attention to ourselves, if anything. So it seems like there's a relationship that is near and dear to you that is either very heavily burdened by some outside force, or the relationship itself has become a burdensome. The thing is, the card you get with this is beautiful. You have the Sun, and then it's the same cards keep coming up through this, this community reading. But that's the start of a brand new day, which says to me there's options here. There are options here. I'm not saying you gotta just like throw this away. 10s are the end of a cycle, so this burdensome thing that's happening doesn't have to continue. You can say, you know what, I can't do all of this, but I still love you. But this can't come with us anymore, and that's okay. And look at the other card that you got, the Devil. And I love that card too, because the Devil card says, hey, what old stupid thing are you doing that is causing you problems now? And that's the thing with some old behavior pattern, and now this can be like drinking, smoking, stuff like that, but it can also just be like gossiping, overworking, not spending enough time together, not treating each other well, dumping all your crap on each other versus like loving each other. This stuff happens. It can be very burdensome, but the good thing is when you recognize the pattern, you can make this go away. Okay, so like this is like, okay, here's the deal. You can either burden the heck out of each other and make your lives both a living hell, or you can look at the relationship and go, okay, we're not gonna do this old crap anymore. We're gonna do things anew in a different way, in a better way. And by that happening, we get rid of these old patterns and this burden all at the same time. So I'm really excited to actually see that. I'd like to know what you have going on, and I know a lot of people like to tell me privately, and that's totally cool, but I definitely would like to know what that means to some of you. All right, we have Sagittarius coming up. What do we have for Sagittarius? The Wheel of Fortune. I'd love to see that card. It means your luck is changing. We'll talk about that in a second. And the Eight of Pentacles. Now, I always say that this is not, you get the Wheel of Fortune, you don't just automatically have good luck because, well, the universe went, oh, you know what, I'm going to give so-and-so good luck today. No, you have good luck because you make good decisions, and that's the thing. Like here, you've got this Eight of Pentacles. You're working super hard on something, and it's starting to show now. Like it's really visible. This can be career, money, finance. This also can be like your physical body. It can, like if you're working out, it can be your environment. Maybe you're cleaning up your house. Maybe you want to sell your house. Who knows? Or something you want to refinance. You're cleaning up your finances. But whatever it is, you're doing something now that's very noticeable, and it's changing your luck. I hate that word luck, but it's changing the things that happen to you to good things because you're making really good decisions and you're working really hard. And when you do that, you bring really great energy toward yourself, and so that's why your luck would be changing. Okay, just want to make that really, really. Did one just flip? No, I thought it did. Okay. I like when they just kind of stick out or flip out like that, and that's for you. Death. Okay, so there is something that you have to let go of. You're doing all of the work. You're working super, super hard and to make these changes so the good things start to happen, but you do have something you have to let go of. And as soon as you let death come in and kind of clear out the clutter and clear out the junk and the old stuff that's not important anymore, look at this, not important anymore, you get this 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is like a celebration. It's like emotional fulfillment, good relationships, happy marriage, happy family, family reunions. It's really great stuff. So It looks like your hard work is really, truly paying off. If you can just let go of whatever is in your way, you're looking here at like having this great family time, this great relationship time, great time of like spending moments and making memories with people that you really want to be around. So that's pretty exciting, Sagittarius. I'm very happy for you, actually. All right, let's move on to our Capricorns. Like to know what everybody's got going on. Capricorn, you got the Queen of Wands, Capricorn. All right, that's new for you. And the King of Cups. Well, alrighty then. Queen of Wands, she does whatever she wants all the time. Doesn't care what anybody thinks. And she does what makes her really happy. She like grooves to her own tune. She moves to her own beat. She just does her own thing. She does what makes her happy, and she doesn't care. It's not that she goes out of her way to just want to hurt people, but she's just not worried about what people think about her. And Capricorn, that's so like, you're so like, I do things this way. There's an order to everything. Sometimes you just got to go and have fun. And you've been getting stuff like this for quite a while. So like, I know you're not listening, but eventually you're going to have to. Go do something fun. I know it's the middle of the week, but go do something fun because it's going to like really pay off. This King of Cups is like really happy. I mean, emotionally, he's really sound. He's in a really, really good place. And he is just, he feels good. He feels fulfilled. Like, go do something fun. Please, I am begging you, Capricorn. Go have fun because, wow, you got the 5 of Cups. So you could like stay home and be sad and, you know, think, well, if I went and had fun, I mean, I could have something happen that isn't perfect and isn't part of my schedule, and it could go wrong, and then I would be sad. Yeah, but you'd still have 2 cups over here, okay? Every single thing you try and every person that you date may not be the person. It may not be just the right thing, but there's always a good thing that happens out of it. So I think you're going to have to force yourself out, because also you just don't want to be sitting home going, well, other people go out and have fun. I just feel like you need to get out. I don't know. You also have the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is like, listen, you can go and have fun. It's not the end of the world, but the King of Swords is not going to allow you to do real stupid stuff and get in trouble, especially with your emotions. It's kind of like he's guarding this King of Cups, because the King of Cups is like, everyone's wonderful and I love everyone, and he's like, no, you don't. So I feel like you're going to be safe if you can go out and just try to have some fun or whatever. You've still got this King of Swords. I mean, you might be open emotionally a little bit, but you're not going to go do anything stupid because you're a Capricorn. You don't generally go and do stupid things. So don't be afraid that you are going to have 1 too much fun or 2 not enough fun. Just go out and have some. Just go out and have some, okay? All right, we're going to do our Aquarians now. Page of Swords, you're getting a message, and that one sticks out, but I thought it was this one. And the 8 of Swords. Okay, Page of Swords, intellectual message. And this card has come up like 5 times through these readings. The community energy kind of happens together. There is something you are ignoring, or somewhere that you are that you don't like, and it's your own fault. And I'm an Aquarius, and I don't really want to hear this, so, But you also, Aquarians, we are the swords. You are the air sign, so this message is for you. It's not for you. It's for you, even though you don't think so and don't want to think so and are not interested in it at all, because I am not. But yeah, we're getting a message that says, hey, you got to use your brain. You're stuck in this some kind of cyclical like thinking pattern that you know does not make any damn sense at all, and you're just like, yeah, well, I don't care. I'm ignoring it. I'm just going to do what I'm doing because that's what I'm doing. I don't know why you're doing it, but that's what you're doing. We all do that. We all get into a thought pattern or something where we just don't want to see the writing on the wall, you know. Oh, all right, there's your card. 9 of Pentacles. Are you working too much? Because this is a pretty serious measure of success right here, the 9 of Pentacles. So very often with Aquarians, we compartmentalize a lot. We're like, oh, I'm working now. I'm going to do a lot of work and do a very good job. And everything else just falls by the wayside, like, because you have blinders on, kind of like, you're like, oh, I'm working now, I'm doing working now, this is what I'm doing, I'm working, and everything else just kind of, you don't even see it, like, you don't even know it's there, like, there are people in your life that love you, you know, everybody just kind of is left to the wayside. Or you're in a new relationship, everybody else is just gone. You know, you're not paying attention to anybody else. Even something like, oh, you get a new pet, you ignore the old pet. It just happens. But Aquarius, please listen to this message. Is diligent and as hard as you want to work on whatever this new thing is, remember, you have a whole life of stuff, not just one area of stuff. And you have the Chariot, so it definitely makes me feel like this emotion stuff is coming at you kind of quickly, which is another reason you're like, la la la, I don't care. But you really do have to deal with it, because it's really important, and the energy is moving very, very fast. And you don't want to have anybody that you love be hurt, and you don't want to have them feel like you don't care. And I think that's kind of maybe what's happening, is somebody's getting ignored because your efforts are focused, and they're focused in a really good place, but where you're focusing is not, you're not taking time to focus on the other people that are part of your life too, the other aspects and areas of your life, not just people. Like if you're focusing in one area, like, you know, going to the gym all the time or whatever, you're late for work. Or if you're staying late at work, you're not getting to the gym. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, or you have a new boyfriend or girlfriend and you're not seeing your friends or your family anymore. It's that kind of thing. Just write that around and you'll be an awful lot better. And now we're going to do our last one, Pisces. Middle of the week, King of Cups, Pisces. Well, this is you like that. And the Devil. Okay, so King of Cups is you at your emotional peak, fulfilled, handling your business, feeling really great, able to really deal with everything as it comes, and really emotionally feeling in a good place. And then you have the Devil, which says, you know, be very, very careful. Do not let old thought patterns creep in and disrupt your harmony. Like, it's like you feel like you finally achieved some kind of emotional pleasure and balance and comfort and happiness. Do not let old old behavior patterns sneak in and screw that all up for you, because you could start to worry, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens? Well, that's not productive. Vibrate here on this high pedestal. Vibrate up here. Don't mess around with old stuff that you've already dealt with. Like, don't dig up stuff to worry about, okay? In here, you have the Temperance card. Keep Temperance, you got the Cups. You are the Cups, right? What is she doing? She's keeping everything balanced. Everything's on a nice, even keel. You don't need to be like, you can keep yourself on an even keel, being very fulfilled emotionally and very stable and very cool. You don't have to go off into a crazy pattern. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, don't revert back to old behaviors. And like, look at the Seven of Cups. This is exactly what I said. Like, digging up stuff to fight about, worry about, all these weirdo emotions. I mean, Seven of Cups is like every emotion in the world coming at you. It's almost like with the old behavior patterns or digging up old stuff, like you want to dig up some old problem and then bitch about it until there's drama. And I don't mean you. This could be around you, but either way, avoid that. If somebody you know starts digging stuff up and they want to fight about old stuff, do not get involved in it, and don't you do it either, all right? Just watch out for that. You vibrate on your happy plane. You keep things at a nice even keel, and do not look for old stuff to worry about, talk about. None of it. It's over. It's done. Just let it be done. You stay here, okay? All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching.